What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're here with another challenge run, this time going through Pokemon Fire Red with only a single Umbreon. Now if you guys do enjoy these, make sure you hit that like button for me as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not already. But more importantly, leave a comment down below and let me know what you would like to see me do a challenge run with next. Now starting off here, we're looking at Umbreon's base stats. He is pretty well all around a great mon for us to use. Where he does lack is not going to be that big of a deal. Now, his moves leveling up aren't the greatest. I mean, Moonlight and Pursuit are probably the two best moves he does learn. But the TM capability is where it gets amazing with Dig, Psychic, Return, Toxic. Having those abilities to learn those moves is definitely going to be the best situation for us. But starting off, we had to go pick up our Umbreon, of course, from Professor Oak. Now, I wasn't sure which starter would be the hardest for us, so I just went ahead and gave the rival a Charizard. And we had to give Umbreon a nickname, which I went ahead and decided on Nightshade, just because it kind of goes with the theme of him being a dark Pokemon. So I feel like Nightshade was pretty good of a team, and of course we had to take on our rival. And our very first time we will fight the rival, and also the easiest time we will ever fight the rival. So I did get the win. Got, some experience. Didn't quite get to level 6, but you never really do unless you have something that has like a really quick level curve. But we do have Synchronized, which passes status problems on. So if we get paralyzed from on, so do they. And he had a Calm Nature. Again, I don't know if that was the best nature for him. Maybe I should have looked that up. But moving on to Brock, our first gym leader here. And we are at level 16. This is when I learned Pursuit and was able to finally take him out. I do try these guys multiple times at every single level, and if you guys would like me to add a little bit more, let me know down in the comment section below. I try to keep these as short as possible and just to the point. And getting to Misty at level 21, we didn't have too much of an issue. Getting confused by Water Pulse hurt a little bit, but Pursuit was a pretty easy win for us, getting us all the way down to 1 HP from her Starmie. After we leveled up, we got to level. We were only at 4 HP, so that was actually a really close battle. That's why I had to keep doing it. I needed that one extra level. So, but going into our rival at level 22, Pidgeotto was no issue. Neither was the Rattata. And Charmander, even though we missed a few times, still pretty easy to take him out. And the Abra, of course, cannot attack us. And we ended up getting Quick Attack, which I learned over Tackle, just because it is better than Tackle. So, for the time being, it was our best thing for the situation that we were in at the moment. But next, after saving Bill, we decided to go ahead and take on our rival on the SSN, being at level 26. At this point, I felt like I was a little too high of a level. I'm still learning on when I need a level and when I don't. So hopefully the levels start coming down when I do these challenge runs. But other than that, the rival being that we were so high of a level wasn't too much of an issue. I mean, we had Dig at this point as well as Pursuit, so he went down pretty easily. Then we just had to go get cut from the captain here on the SSN, and of course I did stop and pick up the 6 Meowth that did have the pickup ability. Well, sorry, my bad. The 5 Meowth. So after learning cut and getting through Lieutenant Surge's puzzle, we now have Surge, and using Dig, Voltorb actually lived on like 1 HP. I went for the quick attack, hoping he wouldn't heal. He ended up healing, and then I pursued it, which was actually a mistake. I shouldn't have. I lost a lot of HP. In the end, did it really matter? Not too much. We were still able to pick up the victory, but that could have cost us the battle there. I had made that mistake a couple other times in the past, so this was not my first attempt at Lieutenant Surge. Next up, after making it to Lavender Town, I wanted to go and get a very important TM for us. I pick it up in every single run when the Mon can learn it, and that is Return. Now, with Return, the higher the friendship is, the more damage it does, so later in the game, it becomes more and more useful. And this lady here, just south of Lavender Town, will give it to you for free. So she says she doesn't need it anymore because her Pokemon is buried in Lavender Tower, which is kind of sad. But, I'll appreciate the free TM, even though it is pretty sad that she lost her Mon. So going on to Erica here. This was a very difficult battle. We're at level 34 at this point because I had to try so many different strategies and try so many different things to actually get this victory, because with the paralysis becoming very annoying, I ended up taking out all of the trainers in her gym to get to that level to where we stood a chance. And then, it looks like we didn't even need it that much. And with the speed up, I had to turn the fast text off. So, because I use speed up during these runs, that's why it doesn't matter the time. It's just whether I can and what level I can do it. And these first challenges I'm doing, I might come back in a little bit, maybe a year or so, and try them again, see if I can get it done at a lower level. Because I feel like the last two we've done The Deoxys and the Umbreon, I really feel like we could do at a lower level. But going on into the game corner, we had to take out this trainer standing in front of the poster like, oh no, nothing's here. But, we find the switch and had to go take on Giovanni now. This is our first fight with Giovanni, and this was the 5th time I tried this. I just kept getting bad luck with the paralysis because I went in paralyzed. I didn't want to run back and heal. And I also didn't have super, great amount of power points. And I just didn't have the best luck. I kept getting paralyzed and everything. So here's this run. I'm actually down to 3 HP. I'm out of psychics. And got all the way down to 1 HP from the King of Kong before finally taking him out. And I don't know how many battles I got to where the King of Kong was almost dead and then died. So, but moving on to our next rival fight in the Lavender Tower. Obviously, super easy fight. We're level 37 at this point. I could have done this earlier, but I was like, we got to come back anyway, so I might as well just wait and do it when we can go all the way through the tower instead of taking them out and then having to run up, do the other things and then come back. Is just, for me, it made more sense to do it at this point. I didn't really need levels, so went ahead and went all the way through, took out Team Rocket, saved Mr. Fuji to get the Poke Flute so we can move our Snorlax out of the way. But going into the Silph now, we are up against our rival yet again at level 50. I had to gain these levels. His Charizard is absolutely beastly. It would constantly one-shot me, depending on what he went for. The Execute putting me to sleep, paralyzing me. It just, at level 51 is when I was actually able to do it, due to that stupid Charizard, and then I get an easy run, and I try at least 15 to 20 times before I decide, okay, let's get one level, and then I'll try another 15 to 20 times and get one level. But here, we are learning Moonlight, which does allow us to heal up depending on the weather conditions. I don't know which weather condition would allow us to gain more or less HP, but, our Feint Attack we learned over Pursuit, we have Return, we have Psychic, we're about to learn Moonlight, and here I was just kind of thinking, what was the best thing for us to learn it over? Dig was pretty useful for electric types. Return is obviously really good, but, I was in a dilemma. I always hate giving up moves, especially when I have a good moveset, even though I know I'm improving my moveset. So I was like, after thinking a little bit, Psychic obviously was a must-have, so I decided to go ahead and get rid of Return. I wasn't really using it at this point in the game, so didn't feel like it was going to be that big of a big deal, but Dig definitely is something I needed. So it was the only ground type move I had and could learn, so I was like, well, we better keep it just in case I can't get it again. There's other normal moves I could have learned. I could have learned Hyper Beam and stuff like that. But next up, we have Sabrina, and being that we are a Dark type going up against a Psychic type, this gym badge was super easy. Eric used to give me so much trouble when I was younger before I knew my type matchups, but going in, just hitting it with a couple Feint Attacks on each one of her mons. Some of them we are one-shotting. The Alakazam did live, but we went through that whole battle and only lost 12 HP at level 53, which I wish I could take on Erica a little bit earlier level, but we couldn't. So next up, we have Koga here. And Koga is, during these challenge runs, he has not proved to be any issue. Here I went in again, not even healing, not fully healed, didn't have all my power points, and I was like, we have Moonlight, why run out and try to come back? Let's just go ahead and take him out, which we do. We end up getting poisoned at the end, but it doesn't really matter. The match was over. I just went ahead and used an antidote to heal up, just so I didn't lose my Umbreon, because that would have been a little bit unfortunate. But next up, we have Blaine, and this Blaine fight gave me some trouble. We're at level 55. I was trying to keep my levels down as much as I could, but this Blaine fight, his Arcanine and his Rapidash, they can put out some serious damage depending on what his AI decides to go for. And here, I actually went down all the way to 76 HP before I healed with Moonlight, and then down to 82 before the match was over. And that Blaine, he has good mons. It's just his AI. Like, Gen 1 AI for Blaine is just really weird. I don't know why. But we have our last fight with Giovanni, the 8th gym badge, going through at level 57. 1 Psychic for the Rhydon. He's down. Nidoqueen lived 1 Psychic, but didn't live after we hit her a couple more times. Nidoking down as well. The trio lived 1 Psychic as well, which was actually a little bit surprising. And next we have another Rhyhorn. At this point, I was out of Psychic, so I just had to take it out with a Feint Attack. Super easy. That was the first try that I did with Blaine. I never had to reset against Blaine so far. But we have our next rival fight at level 58 still. And I had to try this rival fight. I think this was probably like my 10th or 11th attempt before going in and figuring out what the best strategy was for taking out this rival. And I realized that Feint Attack was just the best bet and trying to heal, but the Wing Attack from the Charizard does a lot of damage. So I had to figure out where exactly I needed to start healing to make sure I could live that Charizard. And then with Alakazam disabling my Feint Attack makes it a little bit difficult. So, and I didn't have any more Moonlight, so I needed to get it down, take it down pretty easily. But luckily my Feint Attack comes back and he disables my Dig for whatever reason. But with that, that is our last rival fight until we fight him as the champion. Going into the Elite Four, we have Lorelei as our first one. We are at level 75. I used all of my 8 rare candies and grabbed a few levels. Probably shouldn't have at this point, but the rival fight is a little bit difficult. So this actually isn't my first run through the Elite Four, but I figured out what I should do in the future. I should see how far I can go up my levels and then save my rare candies for right before the champion fight. And then maybe then use my rare candies when I need them for the champion, just to keep my levels as low as possible. But next up, we have to heal and take on the weakest Elite Four member, in my opinion, which is Bruno. Never really does anything to anybody in these challenges. Maybe my next one that I have will be a little bit challenging, but so far, I've never seen anybody struggle with him, so I doubt even my next one I will struggle too much. I'm sure I can figure out a strategy for him. But guys, let me know down in the comment section again what mon you'd like to see me do a run through. And it doesn't have to be Fire Red. It could be any game you choose. If I'm able to do it, I definitely will. But I just chose Fire Red for these first few because it's the game I know the most. And I was like, you know, it's probably the best for me to try these because before I go too overboard with them. So that, you know, this one and then the next one's going to be a Fire Red as well. I'm not going to let you guys know what mon it is, but it will be Fire Red. And then you guys can let me know down in the comment section what mon and which game you would like to see me in. But I had to restore my power points as I was low before going into our next fight against Agatha. And being that we are Dark type, not going to be too big of an issue for us. We can pretty much just use Feint Attack. Only have 15 though, so that was a little bit worrisome. But you know, I can use Psychic on the Golbat and the Arbok to take them out and save the Feint Attacks for her Ghost type mons. So none of them were too big of an issue. Now that if I would have stayed asleep a little bit longer, that definitely would have been an issue. It had proven to be an issue before with us staying asleep too long. So, but next up we have the final Elite Four member, which is going to be Lance. And here I am trying to think of the best strategy for Lance before moving on. And I actually ended up healing up all my power points that I could with a few Lepa Berries that you can pick up in the game, as well as all my HP. So this actually was my 4th attempt at Lance, trying to figure out the best strategy because his Gyarados would absolutely destroy me all the time. And then going into his Aerodactyl, I'd be weak and his Wing Attack would do a lot of damage. Now the Dragonite wasn't too big of an issue. Does do a lot of damage and can take some hits. So once you get through the Dragonite, you only have 2 Dragonairs left and they go down to 2 Feint Attacks. So I messed up a couple times there, getting paralyzed, freaking out. So wasn't my first Lance attempt. That was like my 3rd or 4th. Then we have our rival fight. And this was another fight that was a little bit scary because I had been here before. This run that you guys are seeing right here was my 50th attempt at trying to take this out. I just could not get the sand attacks. I tried double teaming, but the sand attacks would just make it to where I couldn't hit. Because while I'm double teaming, they are still landing sand attacks. So even though this run makes it look like it was actually pretty easy, it wasn't the easiest thing because while I was making it to where they couldn't hit me, I also couldn't hit them because all the sand attacks, and then Executor putting me to sleep and staying asleep was just where I would lose the battle so many times, was not being able to wake up in time, and I had no berries to heal me to wake up. I had no awakening berries, I should say. So, but once we got through this run and getting to the Charizard was the hard part, taking out the Charizard was actually the easy part. And with that, we are the champions of Kanto once again, guys. And the time that's on this will not reflect the actual amount of time it took me to beat this, because, you know, I do resets and that doesn't count against time. And I also use speed up, so it kind of makes the timer look weird. So some of these challenges, people do, when they say they put in a lot of hours, they really do. So hitting that like button for me, as well as everybody else that does these challenge runs, is greatly appreciated, because these do take a lot of time, not only to record, but also to edit, to keep them at a decent time. Because, you know, if I wanted to, I could just throw, you know, these could easily be 3 or 4 hour long videos, but we try to, you know, me personally, I try to cut them down to under 20 minutes if possible, just because I know that everybody is busy and doesn't have time to watch a super long video. So again, hitting that like button for me, commenting down below, as well as subscribing to the channel would be greatly appreciated. Ring that bell for notification, because this will be a weekly thing here on the channel, as long as I can keep ahead on them, which at this point I'm doing really well of keeping ahead. So let me know down in the comment section below what you would like to see me do next. Next week's was requested, and all the details on who requested and everything will be in the next video. But with that being said, guys, I don't think I'm not going to show you guys the time. It was like 20 hours or something. I think I stood there so I can do my outro. But we'll go ahead and show you guys the time real fast. It shows 20 hours and 43 minutes, but it's not right. I use speed up and all, you know, resets and all that. But anyways, guys, until next time, have a great day. And as always, stay safe.